Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing selections for Thursday, the 15th of June. Well, let's get straight into it. So, I've chosen for tomorrow, it's a 10 pence each way, lucky 15 with 25 pence each way doubles. And I've also had a Heather Main each way Yankee, and I'll explain more in a second. So let's get straight into it. So the first selection in the 10 pence each way lucky 15 and 25 pence each way doubles is King's Castle at 12 to 1 in the 150 at Newbury, paying 4 places instead of 3. To be honest, I've been absolutely pulling the air out about this race. Last year, it was in 2 divisions. There was that many runners. It was cut into 2 divisions. And the winner of both divisions run in this race tomorrow. So King's Castle is one of them. And the favourite is, I believe it's called something like Mrs. Meacher or Mrs. Meader, something like that. Well, that horse has also got a chance, but I just can't have it at 4 to 1 favourite. So I've gone for one, a little bit of value. Well, this horse it was in no form whatsoever anyway. It actually reappeared after an absence, but it had been showing not a great deal before that. Well, it's had a wind operation and it's had a run over hurdles, and I think it may have strengthened up a bit. Don't get me wrong, it unseated rider, but once again, it showed nothing the last time it won a division of this race. I think the quicker ground, it'll be absolutely fine with it, and I think it represents an half decent value at 12 to 1. The second selection is Italian Magic in the 325 at Newbury, paying 5 places instead of 3. This horse is really interesting, and this is the one where I've used fat stats for. So what I've gone for, it's had 3 runs, 2 on soft ground and 1 on the all-weather. The soft ground performances have only been average. However, I looked into the breeding, and as you'll know, I do this off the top of my head, and off the top of my head, I can't remember what the sire was, but it doesn't matter. But if you're interested, click on the sire, and the sire has a preference. I think it was classed as a slight preference for firmish ground. The dam sire is Marju, and that also has a preference for firm ground. And then I looked at the dam itself, obviously at the mother of this horse, and of its offspring, I think it's got about 8 offspring, and if I'm being honest, they've shown form over a variety of different surfaces, so I wouldn't look too much into that. But I'm definitely interested in the firm ground angle via the sires, the sire and the dam sire. So definitely interesting, and I just think it could improve it on its current performances, or on its past performances. And it's a poor race in my opinion, and I think it was roughly about 12 to 1. Well, with it showing not a great deal of form, I think it could actually drift, so I've left the price. The third selection is Persuasion at 11 to 2 in the 4 o'clock at Newbury, paying 4 places instead of 3. Generally, the more favourable draw is low to middle. Don't go on, there's not loads of runners, but this horse is banging forward. To be honest, it's about time it's won. It's about time it wins. I backed it twice and it's come place twice. Hopefully it should be a minimum of a place tomorrow at Newbury. It's half decent prize money, so I expect the trainer's a bit shrewd, but it's like they've not really kicked on just yet. But it's Nicola and David Barron, and decent trainers, or decent trainer David Barron. They're doing okay-ish between them, but they need to start getting their winners on the board, and I think this horse could go close. It's got William Buick on board, which is very interesting as well. And the fourth selection in this bet is Suani at 7 to 1 in the 455 at Nottingham, paying 4 places instead of 3. This is trained by Richard Hughes, and it's very well handicapped. It's got a low draw, and it does tend to favour the low draw on the straight track on the straight track at Nottingham. When it's soft, they do tend to come to the stand side, but it certainly isn't that tomorrow. I think it's going to be good to firm at least tomorrow, and I think this one's got every chance. It has been running on soft ground and running okayish at times, but I do personally think it wants quick ground. So let me get on to the final bet. As you can see, all these bets are placed, so it's not like I'm just giving you horses for the sake of it. Although this bet may feel as though I am doing. It's a 20 pence each way Yankee, and I've gone for, let's call it the kind of jackpot. I've eliminated the singles. There's some tasty prices, but I've left the prices. And Heather Main Stable is just running into a bit of form. Her horses are running well, obviously we want some winners tomorrow. They're all tasty prices, and she has been having. I know she had a 125 to 1 winner over Maiden. I know she doesn't get them on a daily basis, but definitely very interesting. So the first selection is Dark Island. I understand it's in the same race as one of my other selections, but it's just a bit of an outside. Well, it's not really a big price. It's about 10s or 12. This one is, but I just think it's definitely interesting. The fact that she's sent four runners, and she had a winner on the card last year. So Dark Island in the 150 at Newbury, paying 4 places instead of 3. The second selection has never ran before, but it's Judge Frank. It's roughly about 25 to 1, but I'm leaving the price. It doesn't really represent great value, but I'm going for the horse anyway because it's quite a competitive race. And this is in the 220 at Newbury. Don't let my negativity put you off. The third selection, and there's been a bit of money for it already, but I've left the price, is Believe You Me in the 325 at Newbury, paying 5 places instead of 3. And finally, Mr. Bluebird in the 4 o'clock at Newbury, paying 4 places instead of 3. Don't get me wrong, I've not really looked at the form on those horses, but when you got them like a funny feeling like there's somebody trying to tell you something. Every time I was ready for clicking a horse, at the side of it, it just said Heather Main. I'm like, crikey, she's got 4 runners and they're all at Newbury. And I thought, there's a couple that I could have given half a chance to just by the fact that of its price and they keep running into places. But I just thought, let's just include them in a bet, just for, let's call it a bit of fun. But it's not fun, is it? We want to return. So I'm waffling now. So if you can just give me a like or subscribe. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.